Hi everyone, and join us, me and my co-host Nick.
Hello.
Nice, we welcome you to our third episode where we're going to talk about something that unites everybody in the world, and this is, of course, what, Nick?
We are going to talk about music.
Amazing. Even though, it's not really about languages, but at first, place it's about cultures, you can still feel the energy that people try to put in when they are creating new tunes, and this is just amazing because like our facial expressions and the sounds that we can make as humans is just amazing, and we can do something to speak to each other.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, there's this theory that I guess, there's this observation I was making, and I guess I'm kind of developing it into like an informal theory that's like, as you said, like, at first, like maybe like music and like language don't seem connected, but like, I think maybe this is like a sociological or like phenomenological thing where like, um, the if you look at like the music around the world, like world music or traditional music, it actually resembles the way people speak. And the two things that I'm thinking about, the two things that I'm thinking about are like, when you think of African American music or the way that African Americans speak, it kind of resembles like, let's say, a trumpet like with a mute on it, or the electric guitar in the genres of blues or jazz. And also when you think of the way Spanish people speak, because I really love flamenco music. The way they speak kind of resembles the flamenco like rasgueados, the like the very fast, like very and like the flamenco dance of the like when the ladies actually like dance there, and when people are using the rasgueados on the guitar. So it does the music does reflect the way people actually speak. So I think it's a very fascinating topic.
This is a very good point. I think there is another thing behind it, that if you are speaking about something like flamenco, or I will continue on the Spanish topic like bachata or salsa, people usually they know really well what the people that are dancing to this music they are wearing, like their costumes or whatever you would call it, like an outfit, and the colors like black and red, and something that if we speak about belly dancing, like this is Arabic language usually, so it's a lot of sound, and even if you are listening to this music and you close your eyes, you still can kind of imagine the person of this nationality, which is very impressive.
Oh yeah, that's very true too. Because usually when you listen to the music of other cultures, the whether you call it the energy or like the culture, there's something that's being conveyed when you listen to that style of music. As you said, like the Arabic belly dancing, and like even when I just finished watching the series Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was so good, and literally it's very Eastern inspired, and like, um the instruments that they have were very like Eastern and like Chinese inspired. So it really sets you in that like mood for that culture where it's taking place in.
Yes, and it's very nice to use as an introduction, like when some people visit this country and they get to see it. Obviously, if they are just tourists, they get to pay for it a lot. But I remember when I was in China, I was staying on campus, like in a university, and our greeting, this like very first day of the whole program, one of the first things that they did was actually a national like Asian dance, like girls dancing with these fans, like to Chinese music, and it was just great and so beautiful. Even though I will be honest, the place where it was taking place, it was just so simple, like any sort of lecture hall classroom, but the music made it all so different.
Hmm. And I know that you have this app that you wanted to use. I don't know if you want to get into it now. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
If you could explain it to the audience and stuff.
Yeah, with pleasure. So there is this app that is called Accent Guesser, and you can find it online if you type startboldvoice.com. So this thing listens to your voice like an AI would do, and it recognizes your accent where you are from. And of course, you can fool it. To be honest, I haven't actually gotten any great result. If I don't get Russian, I get something very specific, something very far away from the English culture at all. I don't understand how bad my accent sounds, but it's kind of a fun thing to do. So, would you like to try it with me, Nick?
If you can show me how to do it, because I've never used this, but it sounds kind of fun.
All right. So, do you have the website opened?
I do have the website open. I'm kind of scared that like I don't know how loud it's gonna be. So I'm kind of like lowering my laptop volume a little bit because I don't want it to like blast. Like I don't know.
It's gonna be silent. It's only you speaking, so you will allow your microphone to be used at some
Oh,
point.
it's not gonna repeat back. Okay, okay. I thought it was gonna repeat something back. Okay.
No, it's quite just like very mundane. So you press try me, and you and I we get different little texts. Okay?
Okay.
So I want you to be the first one. So just read it to our audience and then share the result that this guesser gives you.
Let's see. Do I have to? Do I? Can I just? Do I have to hold this or do I just press it? Or let's see. Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's getting. Hold on. Hold on. Allow while using the site. Okay, sure. All right. So, thin flames click. Thin flames licked the dry logs as smoke curled through the dark room. Sparks crackled, leaping into the black air, while faint embers clung to the edge of the rough stone hearth. Shadows danced on bare walls. English. But wait, is that my accent or is that my language?
No, your accent. I'm so sorry.
I'm just saying that, like, because I thought this was like an accent thing, so I was like, wait, is that an English accent? Wait.
I'm not sure if they give American as one of the accents. Probably they don't. If they just said English, if they don't say British or American, maybe it counts as like all the same. I'm sorry.
Okay. It says you sound like a native English speaker, whether from the US, UK, Canada, Australia, etc. Yeah, so I was just so confused because, like, well, I wasn't confused. I was just like, I saw English. So I was like, wait, is that my accent? Or like, I know I'm speaking the English language, but like the English accent? Question mark. But that was fun. Okay, so somehow they knew. Somehow they knew. Technology these days.
Absolutely, yeah. Many people that are not natives, non-natives, they are taking classes on their pronunciation, and unfortunately, like I doubt that I can like beat this monster, the oracle. Okay.
I think this is actually like really useful for, like, as you said, like people practicing English and people practicing their accent. Like, this is actually really useful. So thank you for sharing it.
Of course, I'm happy to share. And like before this oracle checks my accent, do I sound really Russian?
Yeah, I don't know. Will you be able to get rid of it, or are you gonna try to fool it, or because you sound a little bit Russian.
All right. I don't know. Like when I'm reading, I put on a little bit of a British accent, but not really, not a lot of it. Okay.
Okay.
Um. Okay. I recently adopted a new hobby of stargazing. On clear nights, I take my telescope outside and observe the stars and planets. It's humbling and awe-inspiring to see the universe in such detail. Whatever it is, going to be probably Russian. I'm sorry for using language. It says Russian or Ukrainian.
It knew. You can't fool it. Maybe.
Fine. Oh. Your accent is Russian and Ukrainian, my friend. I identified your accent based on subtle details in your pronunciation. Want to sound like a native English speaker? No, thank you. They even identified some Turkish and Azerbaijani in my recording.
Maybe we should spend the rest of the episode trying to fool the AI.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we can. Maybe I will be able to sound like a French girl. But anyways, like, I know that you, Nick, you have acquaintances and friends from a lot of angles of a lot of corners of the world. So, would you say that sometimes it's a little bit tricky to understand what they're trying to say?
I would say the hardest accents that um I guess is the hardest to understand are people from Wales and some people from France or a very specific part of Italy. Because sometimes they can like say something. Well, I guess Scotland too. Like sometimes they can say something and I was about to say it might be English, but it's hard to understand because it's so I don't know. Maybe I'm not saying their accent is like getting in the way, but it's just difficult to understand.
Yes, and there are a lot of memes about this, especially people from Scotland, I think.
Yeah, like they have that accent, which I don't hate it. It's like it's just so hard to understand, and like I don't know. It's always it's those people that are from like the and again like no hate, but I'm just like saying that it's the people who are like from the either like a really rural countryside that like maybe doesn't have like a lot of exposure to like English in their real life, so like it's hard for them to like I guess like pronounce like the English words, I guess. Versus some people who are like more urban or more like who have more exposure to English, so they're able to like, or maybe they just have more practice too, that they can actually like pronounce the English words better.
Yes, I think that maybe like that's the beauty of the English language, that you have so many accents and so many little details that make people from like another suburb sound different. Not even like the country, another suburb. And even if you think about America, you have different accents in America. It's not only like American English in general.
Actually, that's really true that you pointed that out because like well, there's a couple things that I want to say here because there are regional accents like people from the south or people from the western coast or people from like the Midwest, or even like like different like types of New York accents or in the Northeast. So people have like there's a lot of regional variety here, but I would say, and I'm not really sure why this is, but like I was looking up the regional like diversity in the UK. And for some reason, I don't know if it's like a natural thing, but like the UK like has a lot more variety in terms of accents than like the US does, despite the US being bigger. And like in the UK, like you can drive a shorter amount of time and like find someone who has like a different like accent or who sounds like different than like here in the United States, which I found like really interesting. Like I wonder why that happens, but like um yeah, it's just really fascinating and really interesting.
I agree. I just I'm surprised, even though I've heard about this before, but still we call America as a melting pot, and like there are so many people going there chasing this American dream, and for everybody it's so different. But when it comes to the way we speak, there are these countries and native speakers where and that actually accept you like who you are. They try to help you speak their own language, but others, they just prefer to switch to the most convenient language no matter how you sound. Like you're just like, oh, okay, you're trying to speak German, oh fine, let's switch to English because you're not from here.
I actually hear that a lot from people who travel to like specifically Germany too, and like other European countries. But like they're like, especially I told you about my Romanian friend who like and this could be like any language. He was like practicing like French or something because he's also from Canada. But like so he knows French and he was like trying to talk to like some other like French people or whatever. And like literally it doesn't just have to be him, but like anyone who goes to like, as you said, like Germany, and they try to speak, they want to practice their German, and then they go to like a native like German speaker in Germany, and they automatically switch to English. So like I don't know if this is like, it's like, oh, this is like listening, or like this is like speaking practice in English, or like, okay, I understand you're a tourist and you're trying to be cool, but like let's just like switch to English. Like no, like I want to practice. Like this is what my whole life was preparing for.
I would love to hear like the opinions of people that are coming from these countries, like Germany, for example. I'm sorry for mentioning it so many times, but seriously, even if you go on YouTube, there are so many reels about this, the waiter taking your order and not really being happy with your German. So, but it's not really the case with Russian memes. If you look at somebody who's imitating Russian accent, I watched a few stand-up comedy episodes, and they're like, "Oh, if I'm going through like a very dark alley, I don't want to get in trouble. So if anybody comes up to me, I just put on a Russian accent, and it scares them away."
Oh, even in English, or like
I speak in English, but with a Russian accent, and it's supposed to scare people away.
that's actually hilarious. I actually believe that. I think that works. I was gonna say too that like it's like like as for like personally for me, like every time I go to like another country, well, yeah, like every time I go to another country, I would want to like speak their native language, because I want to like, first of all, I want to appreciate the culture, um, and like I want to appreciate the culture and their traditions, and like I would rather conform to their culture than have them conform to mine. So like it would make sense that I would want to like speak their language, right? So like I mean, like I understand like English is like the lingua franca. It's like a universal language, and like a lot of people speak it. But like I don't know. I feel like out of appreciation for their culture, I would want to speak their native language. Do you feel like the same way, or?
Absolutely. Yes. If I were to write an email to a company that is originated in like another country, for example, in Spain, I would definitely do my best to use Spanish. No, I wouldn't use the Google Translator. I would use like my basic Spanish knowledge. I would use the Spanish greeting, and maybe the Spanish like ending, signing off, this stuff in a letter. And everything in the middle would still be in English, but the Spanish part would still be there, because I think it shows politeness and that you are trying your best. I agree with you.
What about like, well, I was gonna make a joke that what about like other Spanish speakers who use like ChatGPT or Google Translate to translate like their emails and stuff? Um, Shoot, that's actually kind of funny. That would be kind of funny idea. Well, I don't know. Would that be ethical though? Like, let's say, I don't know, hypothetical question, but like, let's say you're like trying to get like a job in another country, and you have like international clients. Like, would that be ethical to like Google Translate like any emails, or like well, I guess at that point you resort to English, right? But like, but you're using the AI to like for a good purpose, right? I think, would that be ethical? I think so.
I think it is ethical, because even if you don't copy paste it and go to use any online translator, even in your mail app, there is this function, there is this button, translate into English or whatever your language is, and it usually looks quite satisfying. I won't lie, like, there have been times when, even though I'm fluent in English, I think my English is good. So, there have been times when I would take an English message, copy it, I understand what it says, but I wonder how ChatGPT translated and into Russian. And then I do this, and then I read the Russian version, and in my head, I'm correcting it. I'm basically becoming like this sort of I don't remember the name of the profession of the person who works like for a newspaper or for a magazine that like correct such things. Not only the spelling mistakes or the grammar mistakes, but mostly this style mistakes. So you can't you can't use this word in this style if it's literature.
I think you're thinking of the editor.
Yeah. The editor, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm trying this role on. Yeah.
I was gonna joke that like Google comes to you for answers. Like, um, also, um, there was another thought I had where like I forgot who did this. I forgot if this was like a language channel or something, but like I remember watching like a video of someone like translating like a paragraph into like multiple languages. So for example, like he starts with English and then he switches to like Russian and then he switches to Arabic and switches to French and switches and like he goes through all of these rounds and then he goes back to English and it's completely different to what like it originally started. So that's like I guess that's another like good point where like AI isn't always like perfect and it's not going to have like the perfect translation after you go through with it.
Yeah. I when I went to kindergarten, we had a game in person. It was called, in Russian, it was called Broken Telephone. If you translate it, it's Сломанный телефон. I don't know if you call it the same in English.
We do call it telephone.
Broken telephone, or like whisper down the lane or something. I don't
We
know,
just call
like
it telephone. Yeah.
telephone. So like when you are sitting in the same row with your acquaintances, like somebody from the same group, and then you turn, you have maybe a teacher. Then the teacher whispers something into your ear, and then you turn to another person and does the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember this game because usually, no matter how well you did in this game, like there is always somebody who breaks it, who breaks the message, and it's always worse. So my idea was that if you keep translating from one language to another using AI or any online resource, it's going to fail you.
That is true. Is there anything else? Like I feel like you're on a roll here. Like
Like, no, I actually remember that I never was at the end of this lane, whatever. But I never rely on online. Just in any sense, you can use the internet connect. You can lose the internet connection at any point, and you will be left on your own. But what I also understand is how difficult to learn any language. How difficult it is because even if you close your eyes and you decide, okay, I just want to speak the language, I just want to be fluent, and I don't care about my accent. Because right now, like on this episode, I've been told that I have a Russian accent after so many years of practicing this language. So it doesn't really make me want to stop because I understand that there are so many other people that express themselves differently and they sound like more Russian, more Indian, more French, doesn't matter. It makes them so unique, but at the same time, my very first point that like was in my head was that like think about all these translators, interpreters, writers, musicians, artists that knew languages, foreign languages back in the previous century. How did they do this? They didn't have online translators. They just used normal dictionaries. It's crazy how many pages they had to go through.
I would say, yeah, like nowadays that we have technology, a lot of stuff is easier. Um and but there was like yeah, there was another point that I was like kind of thinking of where it's like, you know, AI is like and translators are like, well, AI translators are good at like I guess translating from word to word, but they fail to convey the like I don't know what it's called. Like maybe like the colloquial. Well, I know the term is colloquial, but maybe like the psychological like implicit um meaning of the word. Because like when I'm trying to like, or when I was trying to like learn other languages, um, it's like well, one of the biggest struggles that I hear from like other students is that like they understand like the words, but like they're still trying to sound like a native speaker and like understand and use the language like fluently. And I'm seeing that there's like a certain implicit like meaning behind the words. Like on a previous video I did, I was kind of explaining um, the difference between, let's say, like the phrase shortly versus like in a while. And they both like they both deal with like time expressions, but like one of them has like like in a while to a native speaker has a longer meaning than like shortly. You know, by a considerable amount. Like I would say like shortly is maybe like 5 minutes to like maybe 20 minutes. To like in a while could be like a couple hours. But like they are technically used like they technically mean like almost the same thing, but the difference is in like the way they're used by like native speakers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this is what something that shows how um, fluent you are with the language and how easily you can use it, depending on. I thought the words that you were looking for was the context, like context, because even if the words are synonyms, they still have different layers of meanings, and this is what such a branch of linguistic studies that is called semantics, like because the first stem of the word semantics, like in Russian it's sema, or like semantic sema, is something that is like the true meaning of the word, the root of it. And when like you gave those examples with like short-lived and such, it just made me think of this, because this is why we use at least like 2 or 3 dictionaries that are owned by some British or American publishers. We are speaking about the English language, because if you open a normal dictionary, even though it's online, it usually has sentences. Not only the meaning, the definition, it has sentences. If you look at the sentences, you can, at least like if you use your brain, you can kind of carve out some sort of sense from it. You see in what situation it's appropriate to use this exact word. This is exactly why it's better to use this adjectives than another one. And it's like, it sounds like I'm promoting something. So basically what I'm about to say, for anybody who's learning English, Spanish, I think French as well, because I know that it exists for Spanish. There is a website. It's called Youglish for English speakers. If you want Spanish, you just say Youglish for Spanish and you will open this website. So on this website, there is a search bar. You choose the accent. In English, it's gonna be American, Australian, British, Canadian. You click, and you may click on all accents, and you type your word or your expression. You want to find videos, clips with like the word familiar, and you search for it, and you will get so many results. It's amazing because it will extract all short clips from a lot of YouTube videos, and it will send you like back to Youglish stuff. So you will see English speakers using this exact words that you've been searching for. So that's very convenient, and yeah.
This episode is not sponsored by Uglitch. We just find it very useful.
Yeah, the same goes for like accent oracle guesser.
And also this although I wish this episode was sponsored by Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's not.
Oh my god. Let's ask our listeners to share their life hacks, their favorite websites, bits of information that they use for learning any foreign language.
Wikipedia. Nah, but I use Wikipedia a lot, but yeah, like that would be, there's a lot of interesting like cool hack websites that like actually like help. So I'd be interested in hearing that too. Um the other thing I wanted to add too was that you actually brought up the word and I completely forgot about it. But like in my video I did say context is like everything. So yeah, like literally the context matters a great deal in determining that like the true like implicit like meaning of a word. And to be fair, I didn't actually like know about the about like semantics being like a branch of like linguistics because like I'm only like an informal like language enthusiast, but I didn't know about like that like semantics being like a branch of that discipline. But yeah, again, thank you for that, because like now like I'll actually like look into it and stuff.
Of course, yeah, great. It's like there are so many interesting things, and even if you don't plan to become like a professional, to be very professional, like when it comes to sounds, when we speak about accents, like the ways our tongue moves, or like the grammar thing, when it comes to lexical units, it's so interesting for broadening your horizon. So yeah.
All right, well, I think that just about does it for this episode. Is there anything else we should cover, or like do you think that's it, or is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I'm good. Like I was really happy to be helpful. Hopefully, at least like I know that one person was glad to hear something from me, something scientific. It was you, Nick. Thank you. There were
Yes,
many
very much.
people. There were many other people that found it interesting and beneficial for them.
Well, that does it for this episode. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's the Culture Files. Is it actually the underscore culture underscore files, or is it I now I'm forgetting, or is it the Culture Files one? Or is it just also I'll have the like the words, like the title, the Instagram profile on the like on the video right now. So I probably feel super stupid, but it's there.
Yeah, it's like there are underscore culture underscore files.
Okay, there you go on Instagram. And yeah, like hopefully we'll be like having a lot of like polls and stuff if like we get like a large enough audience and a large enough like traction, and hopefully a lot of like fun things um ahead in the future. So with that, this is Lisa and Nick signing out, and always remember that
The
the
truth is
is
out
always out
there.
there.
Yeah, we did it together. Good job.